secretary gonna come and go, okay. If you want it, if the money will go show up, okay. Oh,
Okay. Six minutes after one, go ahead and call up. Session, shorter session is over. You go.
Most, y'all got, if you got, a year, sometime, Alsago, a school, do it, Bob, what you do. They go from one camp to another camp. Mana, sickness, disease, Azahori Koru Kunkaga, which is Ragana Soga, a Sago, a Stukmo, Kalai, Yukuri, Raga Soga, Melbourne, and Scotwood. Now I come with him, that's the style. You are good. Stop here. Stop here. Rather you here. Maar wat is toch goed te zeggen? Good times. Dat is heel goed. Spiritually. Dat is heel goed. Call that good. Você vaga de fantasia. E you got the all after got cut. He let go of it to spay or hair. And do cool so much. I mean, the house is very house, the stew. Outside they go doing. Para. Lego Babeci to be okay. Raga, Pino governance for that. Pino go for you, said Raga. A bile of beans. Raga, so wrong, best soul that. Pino. You always good. Babeci to. Babeci to. Spega. Palagul, Spagul. A resistance got that. Spahali never mixes. Babeci spal. So Ramo Glaga. Tell him. Right after the step. Where's the map? You go near. A market to a hot cut. Almost equal that must you go out. Maybe the well was to give up. I said you go get it to do. I'll be with Sabu. He's actually minimal. That's been a bug, it's been to biology to produce. Vai to you look. I couldn't. Palavra, só alguém com papel tudo, cara. Vai ser a quadros, e não. I mean, quadro, literally, a nail it. Not your budget's fault. Corner. Hotel was a whole people. mouse to hot kappa. Baza hot kappa. Teviga pus. Espaveci. Have actores, grupos. Actores, actores. Surely causes, no obvious. Next school is. Malcolm procedure. Mouse was to go with capture. That's a foul curse. Bacalish. Bagalish. So, Palazaz Sulta. Palazaz will go. There you go, but no obvious. No obvious little Kawhi one. Come on, Jason. Come on, Next school is a pilot speed. That's a song, is it? But still, almost two hours, the very cool. Okay, next school is a bigger system. He's out system. They got waters. I get ballads. Dog. Swabby doodle. Cheap swabby doodle. Ach, hoe de gauw is zo gewoon. Dus je mag pappers. Dat is de milk en wat is. Dat is op zo is. Ben je nog? Wacht.
Roll call.
You white plate, that one's here.
White clay, black lodge here. Botch en dus sparren gemaakt, dus hier, hele.
Hope and Reno here.
Oh, what says here? Go on, left grass. Not great, two corners here.
Where, big one here.
Play for the big one.
Deep green, arrow there.
I'm not really good on those. You know, see that, but I did here.
I'm here.
Hell, there, 93. You'll hug your on here.
Look, 92 here.
Number 15. We don't have any visiting guests. So I'm going to review and adopt the agenda. Yeah. We're gonna do some amendments to the agenda, so we're gonna move, these old businesses, we're gonna move the three confirmations, the CEO confirmation, the two housing board confirmations for Last Grass and what was the other one? Reno? Was it Reno?
Oh.
Confirmation for the housing board. The land you guys is. No, land is Reno, isn't it?
Yeah, Reno.
So we're gonna, Last Grass and Reno's housing board members need to be confirmed. So we move that up on the agenda. The beginning of old business. And also, Steve, who is that? Speed study on reservation. Speed study on reservation. An LR, there's an LR. That too is gonna be moved up to the business. We take care of those right away. Yeah, part of the confirmation. Broke on, CEO, 2000 board. Study, like you while there. Talking about putting that to the 70 elevation while up and over that. And so. I don't have them. Yes, yes. The speed study, did you guys hand out that? Does anybody get that LR? I don't think anybody's got it, do they?
That's the attitude, email it to me.
But anyway, what it is brought up by Brandon, Senator Goodluck. Through Wyola, there's no speed reduction. So it's 70 all the way through. And there's been a couple of accidents where some kids have been run over. And so they need to slow that down. I mean, everywhere else, they slow it down to 40, 45, whatever it is, through their communities. And Wyola doesn't have that. And I think there's some other sections that they've been looking at on the reservation. I don't know if there was one in Fort Smith or Bighorn or somewhere. Do you want to explain it, Brandon? Because you're the one that was doing that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Guests, members of the body. One of the reasons why we want to introduce the speed study was because of the fatality and the safety issues in Wyola when it comes to semis coming through the town. And we have, I talked with the state, the head area office, State Billings. I talked with the gentleman over there, I can't remember his name. I told him, we need to do a speed study within the district of Wyola because we've got high traffic of semis. And he said, I'm willing to do it. All I need is the travel resolution, so that's why I introduced this LR. But not only in Wyola, but there's probably other areas in the district that have that probably need to also do the speed study. It's just a resolution to cover Wyola, and there's probably some more areas that we can put on there also for the speed study. We talked about it in committee. So that's kind of what the purpose is, the speed study. For safety for Wyola, and there's probably some other issues in other districts too. So that's the main point why I introduced it. Thank you.
Okay, so that went through committee, so we need a motion to amend the agenda to move those 4 issues up. Do you need a second? Senator Small, question on that? Question, Mr. Friend? All in favor? Raise your right hand. Any noes? Any abstaining? 0-0. Okay. Is there anything else on the agenda that we need to move on?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and body. At the time, or at the time when we talked about this before, we talked about county roads too, requesting that we put speed limits on county roads. So some of them don't have speed limits, and talking to one of the commissioners, he said as long as it's not posted, they can go 70, so we need a request.
All right, when we get there, we can do that amendment in there.
Right.
We can put that amendment in there when we get to that.
Thank
Pass it with amendment. So move on to review and adopt approval of the journal. I think Jackie put our journals on the desk a while ago, so you guys should all have them. And we'll need a motion to approve the journals. Motion by Senator Okro to approve the journals. You got a second? You're not afraid? Question? Senator Small? All in favor? Raise your hand.
15-0-0.
What is it? Kenny, can you hear us? Kenny,
Yeah,
okay, just making sure you're awake.
yeah, can you have them turn on their phones or turn them off?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're at the point of receiving reports. We don't really have a whole lot of stuff that has been going on. Since the last October session. These are all from the March one. Here we go. Because of the COVID, there was so much stuff that was going on, and we closed the office quite a few times. I think we opened it till Tuesdays and Thursdays. Back in August, on the 4th, we closed the office for 2 weeks because of some of the issues that were going on. On August 7th, Chairman gave Vice Chair Senator Plainfeather a revised budget with no attachments. And that's the kind of the budget that we have, the only thing that we have for it. I think you guys all have it, it's just that spreadsheet that's on your tables. On August 20th, Health and Human Service Committee, recommendation to CEO confirmation approval. That's when we did the first approval for Albert Grobon for the CEO. September 1st, and NTEC came over and gave a presentation. Then we had a special session that was scheduled for September 8th to confirm these 3 that were the confirmations that we're doing today, but we couldn't get quorum, so we didn't do it. September 11th, Frank Whitefly stepped down as finance chair and delegated his authority and position to Vice Chair Tim Plainfeather. Same day, posted a job announcement for legislative branch attorney. And we only received 1 so far, was that Elk River? And I think we were gonna send 1 to that Cone. Was it Cone? I don't think we haven't received anything back. But we haven't received anything from anybody other than Elk River. And also, I talked to Elk River on some other issues that were going on, but she made an offer that if we needed any assistance, and I told her we don't have any money to pay you, but that she could help out with some stuff if we needed it. So that's just something that's on the board. I don't know if you guys, I told her I'd talk to you guys about that and see if we would, what we would do, how you guys felt about it. She would basically be giving us some information on on stuff that we need until we have a lawyer. It doesn't have to be her or whatever, but she would still be there, she offered her help. And then on September 14th, the office was closed. After a staff member had to quarantine until 28th. Then 21st, deadlines for submittal of legislation, executive branch did not submit any legislation for October session. September 21st, letter sent out to state officials regarding no reports on COVID funds. So we sent out letters to the state senators, the Interior Department, and the Treasury, that we haven't received any funds or any reports on the COVID funds. We've sent, I think, 5 letters over to the governor branch asking for his reports, asking to receive reports on his funding. Ellison was appointed by them to be our liaison in between there, but hadn't had any contact with them at all. So as of right now, we still don't know who's on the board or who was on the board. We got a report from Senator Mailbear about a meeting he went to in Billings, and there was only 5 minutes of the COVID round left. And so we don't know where that money went, what happened to the money, or anything. And I haven't received any from the senators. I think Tester's tribal liaison, we had a problem getting a hold of them because his the other liaison, that native guy, he quit, went to college. He's going to law school, and that's the contact that we had. When I finally got a hold of him, he gave me this other person. So they told us that we have to go through the Treasury and Interior. But that's all the information I got back from the snipers. And then any other information was the air conditioning and heating. It's not working. You can hear it kind of kicking on, trying to kick it off and on. Housing came over and worked on it. Once did they put a part in there, didn't they?
Yeah, he said it was fixed.
Yeah.
He ran it and it seemed like it ran, but by the end of that day, it was done.
Yeah, so you can hear it once in a while kind of start making a weird noise over there. And then so for this session, some of the things that we have tomorrow, Secretary Knut Okro is going to come over and give his secretary's report. And then we also had some stuff that we would visit with him about finance, because we need to know how much these elections are going to cost. What's going to happen with these election stuff. But he's going to come over and give us a report. And then Ken, he'll be on quarantine, but he's with us now through Zoom. And we looked through the laws and everything that we have, and he can be here on Zoom as long as we don't do any secret ballot voting. And then the other day, Sherry gave her 2-week notice. She handed in her letter for a 2-week notice. She's going to be going to work for the IHS, and she'll be getting retirement and all the goodies that they give them. So, but you guys know that she gave her a 2-week notice, and is it Monday? And they wanted to pick her up last week, but she asked if she could stay until after session. So she's still here with us. So that's my report. Committee chairs. First, usually I go first. So I don't have that list of committee chairs. Well, with ours, I just with Health and Human, the only thing that we've actually gone through was the confirmations. I haven't had any reporting with the hospital or anything, so I know they've been going through some meetings, but they haven't been inviting me to some of the meetings because of the we removed the director of nurse over there, so they kind of staying keeping us at bay over here, so I'm gonna be getting a bit more aggressive with them, so I'll let you guys know more about what's going on with that, but, since last session, that's the only thing that we've been doing is confirmation. And, I guess economic development, and that's Darwin, and Darwin's home with, who's the vice, is that you, Debbie, economic development? Any reporting? Nothing, so anyway, Darwin's got COVID, so he'll be, his days are gonna be up here Thursday, he'll be back Thursday, he said, so. And then gaming, who's got gaming? Nice. Where'd you go?
Tim.
You guys have any reporting for your gaming? Infrastructure, Brandon?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, member, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, or body. My committee, we met on several items. And two of the items that were important was the housing board members. We met on that in September, and we got them approved to go to the floor. We also met on the speed study in September 11th in committee. We're still waiting back on to hear from the legal representative of housing, the board, on the budget. He hasn't reached out to me yet, so we're just gonna sit and wait for him. And as soon as we meet with Jim, then we'll move forward on the budget for IHB. Other than that, that's kind of what my committee's been working on. Thank you.
Dyson, we're going through the committee reports. Did you have anything for gaming?
Thank you, Speaker. Gaming committee. No, not really any updates because, the executive branch has not submitted any gaming legislation. Only thing we got in gaming is, old business resolution establishing the Contract Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I believe that was submitted July 2019.
We'll get to those old business ones on me later on.
All right, yeah,
This is for any new,
yeah,
anything
no
new.
business in, game.
Okay, the judicial,
No.
nothing in judicial, natural resources,
Nothing was reported, nothing was brought over. Just old business.
and then finance. Question.
Yesterday, we had Vernon Hill come in to say a few words concerning, some of our natural resource, like, there's, how many, 5 grams
Yeah,
over in the Government Basin, so we need to tell our people that those are off limits, or those,
yeah.
they're protected under the federal.
And then they're also protected under, we have a tribal law too, I can't remember, is it a CLB or a JAR or CLB protecting the bighorn sheep on the reservation. So you guys need to let your people know, I think he was gonna post it, he said that they were gonna do a fishing game website here within this week, I think he said they were gonna work on it, didn't he?
Yeah,
And so he was gonna put it out on that, and we gave him that law, so he can take with him. So, and then finance committee, any reports?
They haven't brought the budget over, or what is this? Like, we're still waiting for the narrative and spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Got nothing.
with this, all we got is in there, or the spreadsheet, isn't it? So, all right, so the reporting, that's it, the reporting. There's no executive branch here to do any reporting, no judicial. So now we're at old business. We had a motion to move the housing confirmations. And I believe they're here now, so we'll work with housing first. We already amended the agenda to move everything forward, so we can do the housing confirmations right now, and then we'll do this CEO after that. So I'll turn it over to Senator Goodluck.
Make a motion to.
Yeah, we amended the agenda to move forward or go back. Oh, the LRs are in your guys' packets right now? It's on page.
That's with the CEO.
The color tab is
Red.
Is that in the front? Is that right? Right side of your pamphlet, open it up first. Okay, we have the agenda on the side, right after the CEO one. CEO one, yeah, next slide.
Yeah, it's all.
I'll read it in the record.
A resolution of the Provo Tribal Legislature to confirm the Reno District and the Lodge Grass District confirmation for the Board of Commissioners of the Absalaga Nation Housing Authority. Motion. Second.
Second?
Legislative findings, whereas the Crow Legislature has the power and duty, Article 5, Section 2 of the Crow Tribal Constitution, to promulgate, adopt laws, resolutions, guidelines in accordance with the Constitution and federal laws of the governance of the Crow Tribe, and whereas established the Board of Commissioners of the Absalaga Nation Housing Authority, CLB, number 17-03, titled an act to repeal and replace the Crow Tribal Housing Ordinance to establish authority, duties, and responsibilities of the Board of Commissioners of the Absalaga Nation Housing Authority, 9-2-105, as a tribal administrative body, representing the Crow Tribe and meeting with the federal government on housing matters to advise the tribal government on housing budgets, policies, programs, services, and Crow communities. Also to provide oversight of federal and tribal housing programs and services to carry out other duties assigned by the executive branch of the Crow Tribe and tribal law. And Whereas Resolution 1020, hereinafter LR 1020 states the policies the legislatures shall be that legislative resolutions are an expression of a voice of elected senators and Crow tribal legislatures, which is based on the inherent sovereign tribal authority of the tribal general council as delegated to the legislatures under the 2001 Constitution, and whereas legislative resolutions are utilized for confirmation of tribal officers or judges or in accordance to establish legislative procedure, and whereas the legislature has the lawful authority to confirm executive branch nominations for the Board of Commissioners of the Upsala Nation Housing Authority pursuant to CLB 17-03, and whereas the Legislative Branch Infrastructure Committee held a confirmation hearing on September 8th, and the Reno and Lodge Gas nominees received a committee recommendation for approval of the floor for the next legislative session. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Crow Tribal Legislature in regular session, Section 1, confirmation of board and commissioners and reporting, that the following individuals are hereby legislatively confirmed as members of the Board of Commissioners of the Upsala Nation Housing Authority, Crow Tribal Housing Commission, and shall exercise all authorities and duties associated with such office pursuant to CLB 17-03, Board of Commissioners of the Upsala Nation Housing Authority. Number 1, Jeff Paxton represents the Lodge Gas District for a 4-year term commencing on September 8th, 2020 and ending September 8th, 2022. Dr. Lanny Wilbur representing Reno District for a 4-year term commencing on September 8th, 2020 and ending September 8th, 2022. Section 2, effective. The resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage by full legislature.
What's the typo?
So when 4 is 2 years, 4 is 2 years, same 4-year term, only same 2 years.
Oh,
So,
what is it for your term?
Read the full
Concept of this,
No, cook.
oh, show look,
the commissioners
Yeah,
are
we
supposed
had
to
to
pick
stagger.
staggered terms, and we still haven't found out which one is 2 years, which one's 3 years, and which one's 4.
They took a drawing deal,
And we still haven't gotten the minutes,
then we agreed
the
to
concept of their.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah, we staggered them and we ended up with 3.
3 years?
Yeah, there was four numbers that we drew, and then us two, we were at 3. So if we go with 4 again, we'll still be staggered.
The ordinance says they're supposed to be their terms 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
just do like.
And we need the documentation of that. We requested that the last time you guys.
Yeah, I was supposed to bring it over, I was gonna bring it over. but they didn't give it to me.
Where are we with that? So we're gonna need that to move forward with this? We need that or what?
To establish what their terms are. Yes.
You guys call Jim.
Can we get a copy of the meeting minutes?
Can you get that? We can, recess this and take care of Albert. And if you guys can bring that in, then we can finish that up.
Oh, it's on the-
Question?
Privilege?
Huh?
Question of privilege? Would it be pertinent to convey the terms to be defined later with documentation after their confirmation, are, is that legal?
Yeah,
we can do that.
we can do that.
Or that we take it moving forward?
Yeah, just to keep on moving.
You guys did it before, innit?
Yeah, but we didn't do it like this.
Yeah.
We just, you guys, I think you guys had the 2-year,
Yeah, they, at the onset, they had the ability to set the terms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we requested, housing for the minute.
Put all again.
but we still need those minutes, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it for
We
you.
can do, you want to make that a motion and, or do we have to make that a motion to do that?
Go ahead, Frank.
Okay. Oh, like to make a motion?
Would be an amendment.
In the amendments part?
Oh,
Okay.
we're- all right, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
You track that.
No. I'll back that motion.
Any other questions? Go up, or, what's that? No, no. We'll do an amendment when we get there.
Right now, I read it on the record, but now we're at second floor. Very good presentation.
Okay. Okay, so right now, we're at a 30-minute presentation. We'll get to that part when we get to the amendments. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chair, or Mr. Speaker, excuse me, Speaker, legislative body, guest. I'm in favor of approving this LR because we need the Reno and the Los Angeles commissioners present at the meeting so they can go on with business. And like I said, this is a good thing because we've taken the politics out of it, letting this organization run the way it should be run. You know, so like I said, this is a good thing, and I encourage the senators to give a vote of confidence for these two commissioners. They've done a lot of good things. They've been working hard on cleaning up a lot of the audits and stuff. So like I said, we're getting reporting. It's about communication. And like I said, they report to us, the legislative body. I encourage you to vote yes with confidence. Thank you.
anybody else want to say anything? Senator Rosenbaum?
Proponent, even though not this street, these two gentlemen, they're pretty honest on what they do. And if you put somebody else, you have to retrain them, and it's going along pretty good. And there's that housing ordinance, they're pretty familiar with. I would be a proponent of these two.
Is there anybody else? Senator, quick.
Thank you, Speaker, Secretary, body, guests. Full support this decision by our two districts to put these individuals in there because this is their district business and they were appointed by their district. And I think in supporting districts in with their appointments and through the 3 legislative in each district the point is, we have to respect and move forward with them and my support for districts and these individuals.
Is there any more? Hugo, Senator Whitecliff?
I'd like to reiterate what Secretary said about this Board of Commission on Housing. This is the first time that I've known that they've got a clean audit. There are good things that are coming. So, you know, why try and fix something that's not broken? You know, and we do have a clean audit. This is the first time and that I've noticed that in the last 10, 20, 30 years. Because every year, every audit they have, they're using deficiencies because of people are not paying. But so far, you know, we're looking at having new houses, so, you know, I'd like to reaffirm that, you know, I'd like to have confirmation be done today.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more? So 30-minute presentation, Benito, you got his hand up, you guys are restricted.
I'd like to say a few words about these two gentlemen here. Jacob, Dominic, and what's the matter there? That's enough. What's that? Look down, look. That's tough. All changed for these, so that, you know, that's kind of old. Last team housing victory, that's the fourth hard. Let's get the show on the road.
Senator Lillard?
Yes, Speaker, Secretary, and body, our guests. Just wanted to reiterate what everybody's saying. Mr. Paxton and Dr. Lenny and
Anybody else? Okay. Okay, now we're in the committee recommendations. I think Senator Goodluck.
Thank you, Speaker. Legislative body, guests, visiting guests. We had a committee meeting on September 8th, and the vote was 11-0-0 for approval for the floor. 0 for approval for the floor. Thank you. Excuse me, the vote was 7-0-0.
For approval? For approval. Okay. So now we go, jump over 6, go to 7. The floor is open for debate.
I'll make a motion to close the debate.
Motion to close debate. Second. Senator Plainfelder. Any questions for that? Question, any question? It's time to vote. All in favor of closing debate? Raise your hand.
14-0-0.
Right. So now I'll open the floor for amendments. This is the Frank's amendment. Go ahead. The floor is open for amendments. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, Bobby. Yes. I'd like to make a motion for amendment to move forward and bring the term limits at a later date.
Got a second? Senator Lulek, question? Senator Roma?
Question.
Question?
Chairman of the board of this board,
Excuse me?
are you referring to the housing chairman board? or what?
Yes, the minutes from the housing board when they decided their term limits.
All in favor? 15, 0. You knows, abstains? Second reading?
Motion to waive second reading.
Motion to waive second reading?
Who made that?
Second.
Second? Clay. With amendments?
Motion with, to waive second reading with amendments and go to final roll call vote.
Final roll call vote. No, it's 15-0-0. All in favor? Zero.
14,
Oh,
14, in the house.
abstains, noes. Final roll call vote?
Key White, Clay Black, Claus, Rep, Hamel.
Frank White, Black Lodge, yes.
Watch, and I'll just swallow it back. Unit District, Alma.
Hogan, Reno, yes.
Well, you know, that's,
Small Lodge, yes.
Go on, Laka, yes.
Three people are yes.
Senator Boyer? So yes.
Play the big one, yes. Deep green, North Creek, yes. Now there might be, yes.
Yelto, Lodgegrass, yes.
Good luck, IQ, yes. Total is 15. 0.
Unanimous. So this legislation has passed. Congratulations. Please, don't want to say anything? All right.
Up here, Mr. Tuckstead. I'm gonna sign, where you guys in? Sign.
I was gonna say, I will proceed with what we're doing. You know, it's trying to get some more housing here and we'll get it. Oh, thank you. I hope everybody. Well, good.
Grabe, Amadi will book a fish away will not take mission goals accomplished, task with that objectives. Mom illustrated, you know, left by a lead, cook, they're showing the other stage. Hey, number 665-6292, go. They email, Evalu's son, Lenny Gilbert at Gmail. So, ala bukara, mom, bali, take bili bukara, kanushno, shown, didn't know kukara, the lower, the lift deep, just for your information, I want to thank everybody here, and we're gonna proceed as assigned, and we'll pursue, an open door policy as well as any inquiries or discussions that you might want to include, and we will continue coming in with our reports, or whoever makes reports, come in with our point of view and share what is possible, as best as possible for your leadership. You cook cages.
I, Jay Paxton, do solemnly swear that I will administer justice and do equal right without respect, person who will truly, faithfully, and perfectly discharge, perform all duties incumbent upon me, and the Crow Tribal Housing Board of Commissioners, according to the best of my ability, understanding, so help me God. Over there.
Doctor.
All right. I, Lenny Gilbert, do solemnly swear that I will administer justice and do equal right without respect to with persons, and will fully, faithfully, impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as a member of the Crow Tribal Housing Board of Commissioners according to the best of my abilities and understanding, so help me God.
Round of applause to the gentleman here.
No, we wanted to.
Wife, family was one of your family, Texas Harvard a few days ago, and just got a little, put him on quarantine, so,
Okay,
he's not gonna be back.
all right. Hopefully. Okay, well, we got one more.
Nope.
We're already here. Okay, so we got one more, I guess I'll read it in. Two more to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
What? What?
We'll talk about it after we get back.
Let's get this done. Legislative resolution entitled, a resolution of the Crow Travel Legislature to confirm nominations for the Crow Travel Chief Executive Officer, Cabinet Head Albert Broma, elected senators of the Crow Travel Legislature, and which is based in the inherent sovereign travel authority of the Crow Travel General Council as delegated to the legislature under the 2001 Constitution. And whereas legislative resolutions are utilized for confirmations of travel officers or judges in accordance with established and legislative procedure. And whereas Article 4, Section 5A states the chairman of the Crow Travel Executive Branch has the duty and authority to appoint cabinet members, including comptroller, who shall be bonded, and chief executive officer, and other chief or such cabinet positions adopted by the tribal ordinance, resolution, or policy, who shall all serve in subordinate positions to the tribal officials. And whereas JAR 02-04 states the legislative branch of the Crow tribe has desire to ensure that persons selected for the key positions of cabinet heads and CEO are adequately qualified for the positions, and to ensure that they are adequately qualified shall comply with the following standards: that is 25 years old, possess a high school diploma or equivalent, shall have no felony convictions to provide for the utmost high school diploma or equivalent, shall have no felony convictions to provide for the utmost. The Legislative Branch Health and Human Services Committee held a confirmation hearing on the record and pursuant to Rule 31. His qualifications, his education, he brought over his experience, he brought over his background check. We also have a background check done by
Gab of Albert. Excuse me. A lot of times in Crow, we're accustomed to rumors. You know, that background check means a lot. If that background check says it's okay, you know, it's good. You know, he's a team player. A CEO, you need a team player. And that team player, you know, getting that, you know, the body of the tribe, you know, the workers, getting the form, you know, he has qualifications. Not only that, but he's.
Senator Brown.
General, no, you got the right man for the job. How much could I give up? How much is, very, very much. Now, actually, not gonna be because, he changed, didn't left, didn't, you left, didn't else. Good man for the job. You know,
Oh, me too. Senator Lewis.
Speaker, Secretary, and body guests, just share a little bit about, you know, Albert has been, very professional in his position. He reached out to the district and we're trying to fill
We had 5 committee members there, and the vote was second. Carol Stone, Senator Stone, Christian, Senator Lotford. All in favor? 14.
White Clay, Blackhawk, yes.
Hot charges, Reno District, Alma.
Open Reno, yes.
Brown, Reno, yes.
Small, Lodge, yes.
Go on, let's try that.
Not three, big one, yes.
Play for the big one, yes.
0-0. This legislation has passed. Say a few words.
Sure.
Swear you
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the time and, you guys giving me notification to come over. Frank, Ivan, na Christmas and go, baantiikus koolaa, kes, ma taas että võivad saada kauem vahele. Anna, ma olin, ma lugesin, että ma olen see niisugustali. Nähdäkseni käppäkällä, mä ei saa ei, ne on kuitenkin viilakossa, mä ei nyt ollut itse, yksi päivä itse hui. Teillä naiva, kun oli itse lakeittanut. Leikkiä on malussa ja iho kun hamster joku, koska luksaa, se selvästi voi vaan itse aukoa, että koulu itse homma kun ivan. Teillä ne jästä viilakossa, mä ei nyt. So with all that, I appreciate your guys' time. I will do what I can to continue to fulfill not only the wishes of the administration, but at least the public of the Crow. You know, with all politics aside, you guys are all in tough positions.
There's no, alarm, you guys are all exposed.
All you guys are going to go 14 days. 5 minutes. I'm gonna go back after now. I wasn't there.
Who's it?
Going
Too long.
I'm just thinking about that.
No, I don't, I hear you.
You know, the reason I'm saying is, you know, tourism, whether you like or not.
One more.
People would go through that, you know, and the legally benefits. So I was just thinking about that, you know, I'm just looking,
Yeah,
no, I'm not saying do it, but it's just so wrong.
Yeah.
Something to, you get an idea of where.
Oh, man.
Give me your beer.
I don't know, we're booking the people at BP and Point Rivers.